Greetings one and all, this is Rhythm Works and welcome to my channel. And today, as part of the Big Up video series Fight Night Champion Edition, I like to bring to you one of the rising stars in the community and on the circuit right now. His name is Doc Doser. Doc, please make yourself known to the world.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Doc Doser. What's up to all the community, to everybody who's into Fight Night. You know, keep it up, keep posting.
I'm just going to ask you some questions real quick. First of all, how did you get into the Fight Night series, and from which installment did you start playing?
Okay, I started playing on the PlayStation, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Fight Night 3. I wasn't really interested in the game. I was actually a Madden player. I played Madden all the time and the basketball games. But a couple of my friends, they had Fight Night 3. I had it also, but I didn't play it. And one of my brothers also plays it also. They got me into it. I got into that variation of blocking where you can block the body and the head. I actually was really into that game. But as I kind of got older, I guess, I kind of just stopped playing it for a long time. I kind of, as you can say, got myself a family. You know how it goes. You know how that goes.
Sure.
And started working, doing the thing. So I kind of like fell off, and not until recently I actually got myself a PS3, maybe about a year ago. Yeah, I bought a year ago, and I actually had like a soccer game and had FIFA and Madden, and I ended up coming across on the online looking at Fight Night Champion, but it was just the downloadable thing where it was $5 where you could just play the champion mode, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I paid the $5 for that one. I was like, wow, this is cheap, and that game was awesome. Even though it was just to get the computer, like the whole storyline, it had me captivated. I swear it was like a movie, It had me wanting more. But once I finished the game, I had to get the Fight Night Champion installment, And then once I realized that they had like a little community going, that blew my mind. I sucked for a very long time though, so I've only probably been playing this game for like 8 months, or somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly, but I know it's less than a year. But when I started playing, I had a under 500 record for a long time, man. It took me a long time to learn, but that's how I started. Sorry.
Okay, well that's cool. So I take it that you played Fight Night round 3, right? And you missed out on Fight Night round 4. Yeah,
I totally missed out on 4.
Completely.
Completely. I didn't even play it. I didn't even like sniff it, smell it. I seen the cover out there, but I was too preoccupied with how I put it, life, I guess, at the time, Once my life slowed down, I was able to get the grip on things. I was able to get what I wanted and what I needed.
So really, from round 3 to Fight Night Champion, it must have been a real big jump in terms of the mechanics and the gameplay and the technology involved, because with round 4 it was like a hybrid between the two. So in your experience, it must have been a real eye-opener to have played round 3 and now played Champion and see how much change there were between the two installments.
Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy for me. I thought the graphics were amazing. The first time I played Champion on the Fight Night Champion mode, I thought the graphics were amazing. I couldn't believe it, I was just like, damn. But not only that, the way they moved, and the fact that you could choose different styles and add your attributes however you wanted, that was to me, that was jaw-dropping. I felt like I was playing a Pokemon game where you could build your character up and make them super strong, so that kind of stuff. To me, I've always been fascinated by stuff like that.
Okay, well that's cool. Now that kind of neatly leads me on to your likes of the game, because obviously it's like I can hear from your recollection of being introduced to Fight Night Champion that there's so much of the game that you like. So please, let the people know what are your likes of the game, what you really dig from the game.
Yeah, first and foremost, the mechanics. I think that it's really fluid. I know it's not real boxing, and they try to make it simulation, but it's still far from it. But the limits the game gives you, it's pretty awesome, man. It really feels like you're fighting someone in a ring, you know. I love to consider myself a tactical fighter, you know. Even though like people may not agree with me, I do pick and choose my punches as best as possible, you know.
I need for you to kind of explain to me the technical side. I mean, the technical side of the game. What features of the game that appeals to you the most? What do you find yourself kind of delving in the most?
Yeah, I started off with champion mode. I loved that, but then once I was able to get on the internet, OWC, I started with OWC. I skipped the head-to-head just because I couldn't purchase all the fighters, so I just didn't really like. I don't know. I never gave it too much interest, I guess you could say. But I jumped to OWC and I love that, man. That's probably the best aspect of the game to me. The fact that you can create yourself and then give yourself attributes how you feel. That to me is just ridiculous. I love that aspect. But lately I've been playing more head-to-head, and I tend to find better competition there. Maybe because my boxer doesn't have all the bells and whistles that an official fighter will have, but on head-to-head, I seem to find really good competition. I don't get to like blow my way through, you know, or however you want to say it. But I love all three of them.
Yeah, I think head-to-head for a lot of people is very popular because of the fact that with the head-to-head, you can only use the licensed fighters and their attributes are fixed, so there's no way you can basically change up their attributes in any way. So it's really a matter of skill. Even if you use a mirror fight, two of the same fighters in the bout, it's all about the skill at the end of the day, who's more adept to the fight. And yeah, I would say that a lot of people go for the head-to-head. As far as the OWC is concerned, in my opinion, I mean that is more leaned towards the creative process, which leads me very neatly on to the question of what are your dislikes of the game?
My dislikes, that's a good question. Well, I don't know. I don't think I don't like, you know, people dislike runners. I know how to fight runners, so to me that's not a difficult thing, I guess you can say. Or it's not I don't want to say it's a difficult thing. I've got used to it. Like that was one of my first issues, but as you play the game, as you progress, you learn the counters, so you don't fear them as when you first start. My dislikes, virtually nothing. I honestly, I know that they can make it better. Well, I guess the max reach, but I've gotten used to like fighting people that are max reach. But the max reach spam, that does get to me, but it also gets me, you know, it's what gets me fighting more, you know, like once the max reacher beats me, it makes me want to learn how to beat a max reacher. And lately I've actually been having trouble with the smaller guys instead of the big guys. Solely because I've been focusing so much on the big guy, you know? But the big guy would be the bad thing, I guess you can say. But I love it, man. As long as I can get used to it, and I can learn from it. But and also there's a lot of, I don't want to say that they're YouTube hating, because they're just voicing their opinion, and you know what I mean. It's their right to give an opinion, and that's awesome. You know, that's why I have a channel. You know, I leave the comments there. I know that there's some commentators that erase the comments once they get a negative comment. I don't mind negative comments. I know it's just a comment, you know. I know it's not the truth, and it's fun, but sometimes it hurts. Like a human, you know. I'm human,
no,
but
I totally understand that, and you know, it's evident to see and feel your passion for the game, based on the fact that the last installment that you played was Fight Night Round 3. I think for a lot of us, for me, I actually started following the game from round 4. So, you know, so I noticed the change from that game to this game. A lot of other people will have known the game from Knockout Kings right through to Champion, you know, and they will have seen a lot of changes in the series. So from your standpoint, to have basically played round 3 and then all of a sudden played champion. It was like a whole different ball game. So I totally see with you not seeing any faults within the game as such, because from round 3 to champion there was just like a marked improvement. So I totally accept that. I totally accept that.
Yeah, I mean, I know they can make it a better simulation fighting game, and I totally agree with each and every one of your guys' pet peeves. I just I agree. They should fix a lot of the spamming things. A lot. There's one little thing where if you use a stick to do a straight, you do it faster than you would if you did a button. That's one thing that's like, I guess you can say it's a secret or a hint for all the community, and they probably already know, but that's one thing that I learned, that when you throw a straight with a button, it's never as fast as if you were to do it with a stick. So I've had to adapt to using the stick a lot more than the button. That was my only thing, that in this game they don't really show you, even in the boxing manual, they don't really show you how to do the back step or side step uppercut, none of that stuff. Not even during like the teaching you, they kind of don't show you any of that. So it takes you a while before anybody can actually get actually feel controlling their boxer, the control.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, you mentioned things like the side step uppercut and all those kind of things. But a lot of people in the community regard those moves as spam moves. How do you feel about that?
It is a spam. I agree with them, but it's also a technique. It's not just like anybody can pick up a control and start straight spamming and knocking champions out. It's really not like that. Even though when they talk about it, they make it seem like anybody can be a straight spammer. It's really not like that. Straight spammers to me, from my experience, they're usually the players that have been playing the longest and probably playing all the Fight Night editions, so they have the most understanding, at least what the limits of the game are. I don't want to fight like a real fighter, because this game has bigger limits than that. It allows you to do crazy things like throwing 4 or 5 uppercuts in a row, side step uppercuts in a row. Like, I know you cannot do that in real life, but I'm not fighting in real life. I'm fighting Fight Night Champion, and in Fight Night Champion they give you those limits to be able to do 4 or 5 side step uppercuts without even wasting your energy.
That's a very, sorry to cut you, that's a very interesting point you're making, because looking at the forums from release up to this point, the spamming issue has been a mainstay of conversation and debate within the community, and a percentage of the community would be quick to say exactly the same thing that you said, that it's a fighting game that has limitations, but it also has exploits as well. And the defense is that there's no way that you will be able to capture the whole essence of the boxing game and keep it to its true pugilistic form. So to basically, to sidestep uppercut 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, although everybody knows that that's not the way how real fighters fight. It's just a way of basically, trying to eliminate the other opponent. So yeah, I understand and I respect your opinion, but at the same time, there are people, huge boxing fans that expected a lot more from the series in terms of keeping it straight and keeping it sim, if you like, so I respect that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but what I've encountered is that the technology I don't know if we have the technology, and if we did, I don't think they'd want to put it out so fast. So I think like even the next edition it's not going to meet up to our expectations, because a simulation boxing game would be of infinite size. I don't even think it'd be capable of being on the PS3 or even the PS4. You'd have to make like a PS10, you know what I mean? Like, there's limitations to what they can do in video games. So
okay,
we just have to adapt to those limitations.
I hear that point. But let me ask you a question, okay? Now, let's say the PS10 is just around the corner, and it can manage what you would like to see from the next installment of the Fight Night series. The floor is yours. You tell us what you personally would like to see in the next installment of the Fight Night series. Console size, console specs, no object.
Oh wow! Well, what would be beautiful is a camera that reads your movement. So you don't necessarily have to move around the room, but just move your upper body and mimic. I mean, I know there's something like that already, but I know it's not nowhere near to what we need it to be. But something that would kind of mimic you and then mimic your body movement on TV, that would be awesome. And then fighting online, like, so you can actually use your body movement, that would be fun. I don't know how many people would play it, but I know it'd be fun. It'd be more of like a simulation boxing game where you can actually use your own training. Like, in order for you to get better at the game, you have to literally train, you know? Like I guess virtual boxing or something like that. Something like that would be pretty awesome. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Okay, well, another question I'd like to ask. Within the Fight Night community, past and present, who have you been keeping your eye on? Who has inspired you? Who has kept you hyped up to play the game? You know, who has given you the most inspiration just to be more skillful within the game as a player?
Yeah, when I first started looking at the YouTube videos, I had just started playing online, and I got on there just to look to see if I can learn from other people. You know how this game doesn't really teach you much. So one of the first people I started watching was Fight Night's Finest. He was really cool at the beginning. He helped me out a lot. I learned a lot from him. And then also the old fighters on YouTube. I learned a lot from that guy they call Untouchable or something like that. There's a couple other guys that I can't remember off the top of my head. And then even Sakaburo, man, I got into his channel. You know, I love his commentary, hilarious. They got me into it. They actually propelled me to continue to just play it online, because I would get tired at times getting beat up. Like I told you, I had an under 500 record for a long time, so. They watching the YouTube videos got me pumped up. Like it was kind of motivation to get up to the control and just fight anybody, and then try to like really adapt to what's going on. Once I did that, that motivated me to do it on YouTube. And then once I got my first 2-3 subs, it literally like just kind of put a fire in my belly. The game kind of has that effect on me, you know. I love to play it. I wake up thinking about it sometimes, and I go to sleep watching YouTube videos about it, which is kind of hilarious.
Well, I mean, that's a sentiment that is being quietly echoed, and you know, and I appreciate your honesty in revealing how deep your love for the game is. My final question: is there any links that people can get to you? Friend requests, PSN network, all that kind of stuff, social media?
On my PSN, you can get on it doc_doser. I don't have a Facebook or any of that, but I got a Google Plus. That's how I was able to get my YouTube account. You can look up me on that. It's the same thing, Doc Doser. And just through my YouTube account, hit me up if anybody wants to fight. Like I said, I'm not the best, but I'm a try hard, you know. How Sakabura says, I'm gonna put my try hard pants on, you know. But yeah, I'm welcome to a fight, anybody, you know. Doc_doser on the PSN network.
Well, Doc Doser, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you very much for taking time out your schedule to talk with not only myself, but the rest of the Fight Night community and moreover the world about your love of the game and your passion of the game. And I hope to see you in the ring sometime, but please don't hurt me too hard. Don't hurt me too hard. I'm from the old school. I'm from the old school, you know. So if you're gonna kill me softly.
Let me just kind of give a shout out to
absolutely,
everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I try to think of them on top of my head. Shout out to Fight Night's Finest, Sakabura, 1982. David got ripped. Darth War, that guy's a machine, man. Who's out there? Relapse. He's, you know, even though we have beef or he had beef or whatever, he's a good guy regardless. I don't hate him. Have no hard feelings towards him. He's one hell of a fighter. Chi-Town, I forgot what his name tag is, but that guy's, you know, that guy's badass too. You know, I hate to see him in the ring. Everybody that I met, and Fonte, you know, he's one of the smallest channels, but you know what? But you could tell his love for the game. You know, he has love for it. Let me see who else. And yourself, of course. You know, you inspire me to continue what I do. You know.
Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that.
And Pemby, sorry, I don't want to leave out Pemby.
Pemby 66, yeah, the one and only,
yes,
the one and only. Okay, well, thank you very much, Doc, for giving us your time and your insight into the game that we all love, Fight Night Champion, and we hope that the next installment, whatever console it happens to be on, whether PS4 or PS24, that it will meet most of the expectations of the fans who come to know and love it so very well. So, Doc, I say thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man. Thank you, and everybody, you know, keep it up, keep posting.